Hello everybody, I hope you're all doing well. If you're into astrology, when a major event occurs, you want to look at the planets and see how they describe the event. When I found out that Solana's launching date was 16th of March, I knew even before I looked at the chart that Neptune is at 26 degrees of Pisces for the last 2 or 3 weeks. You can see on your screen Solana's chart with the red arrow that points at Neptune at 25 degrees of Pisces, and next to that it's the red circle that's Solana's sun at 26 degrees of Pisces. But Neptune will change direction end of this month, actually in June 28th, and go retrograde. So this means that this conjunction will occur again 2 more times, on March and April of 2023, and again January and February of 2024. Before we go into prediction, it's a must that we take a quick look at Solana's natal chart to see the nature and the project, the potential of this project. Then I'll do some general predictions, and at the end of the video, I'll let you know which of you have also Neptune Sun transit this period. But I also give you an advice, not a financial advice, because I don't do that. I'm not an expert in economics, but I believe I'm pretty good in astrology. Anyway, Solana has a pretty strong and promising chart. The Sun is in Pisces in a wide conjunction to Neptune and in a nice angle to Pluto. The 4 planets in Capricorn, that's orange circle, that's called a stellium in astrology, plus the asteroid Pallas, which is named after the goddess Athena, famous for her great wisdom and strategic plans. With all these Capricorns, Solana is a very ambitious project with big plans. It's a project with great endurance and a great drive to achieve success. Mars in Capricorn is also a very auspicious placement, and together with Pluto, it's really hard to put a stop on so. It's unstoppable like Bitcoin. Both projects have Pluto-Mars conjunction and also in Capricorn, which means that there is a very powerful drive and determination to achieve success at any cost. Venus, which indicates the value of the coin, is also in an auspicious placement in Taurus. That's a red circle below. Then the conjunction also in Capricorn are all the planets of wealth and big money, Jupiter and Pluto in Capricorn conjunction. This is usually a beneficial aspect. It shows the possibility that this project could one day worth a lot. In some other cases, it could also mean bankruptcy, depending on the rest of the chart. There's always challenging aspects in any chart, and for Sol is Uranus-Venus conjunction, especially when it's activated, which means a sudden change of direction and the price stability, the price and value, that's a very unstable placement. But it's in a wide conjunction, so it's not too tragic. And according to the progress chart, this situation will get better with time. The Sun-Neptune conjunction is also wide. This indicates a project with a vision, but also an identity that's not always clear, if that makes any sense. As a matter of fact, there were a few questions lately if Solana is actually decentralized, something like that. There could be more aspects in the chart, but because I don't have the correct time for the chart, I can't see the whole picture or the exact placement of the moon. But in general, my opinion is that Solana is a project that is very powerful and very promising. So let's see how the planets describe Sol's issue that occurred during the last couple of weeks. I'm not going to go into many details, but as you can see on the chart, Neptune is in a conjunction with Sol's Sun. You can't really describe what Neptune means in astrology in 2 words, but in short, so you can get an idea what I'm talking about, Neptune is the ruler of the sign Pisces, and it represents deep, sensitive feelings, inspiration, compassion, spiritualism, dreams, unconditional love, and many more. But the shadow side of Neptune is confusion, sadness, loss, fraud, worry, idealization. Neptune dissolves, especially of what is wrong. As I mentioned before, this conjunction of Neptune to Sol's Sun will occur again in March and April of 2023 and again in January, February of 2024. Does this mean that Sol will go through similar issues again? Probably during March and April of next year. And I say probably because at the same time there are also more difficult aspects that show that the price could drop a lot. Except from the Neptune-Sun conjunction, there is also Mars in a difficult angle. Mercury is retrograde in Taurus that time, a sign that represents money. And Jupiter is a semi-sextile to Sol's Sun. So just to name a few. So it's a good idea, I guess, to watch out around that time. But the next period, meaning April, especially May of 2023, there are very auspicious aspects that show that the price could rise again by a lot. And some of the transits are Uranus, Mars, auspicious aspect, Jupiter, Mercury, and then Uranus, Jupiter trine. And again, the same happens twice with Jupiter, Uranus conjunction. So that's very auspicious time, I think, after what happens, what will probably happen the months before. But there is something else also that looks very interesting. In the progress chart, Sun enters into Aries in March of 2024. That means that there is a brand new beginning for Sol. I don't know how this will play out, but the Jupiter-Venus conjunction and few other auspicious aspects that are occurring at the same time, all this is a good indication that this new beginning for Sol, it's good news. I wouldn't be surprised if the price goes up a lot around that period. But let's come to now. Until the end of June, Solana looks pretty okay. The beginning of July looks a bit challenging, and it might get worse around the 10th of July for about a week. With the aspect called quincunx, there is probably a need to make a decision in July, something like shall I buy, keep, or sell. August looks a better month for Sol, so is September, but this October, I'm afraid, does not look good at all. This is a very general outlook because I go into more details in my monthly horoscopes for Bitcoin and crypto in general. I'll probably do an update on Solana in a future video. Now let's see which of you is going through a Neptune transit and what does it mean. If you were born 3 or 4 days before or after these dates, well, for about a year now, you're going through a very sensitive and confusing period in your life, and that will last for a while. I'll repeat again the meaning of Neptune, that he's the ruler of the sign Pisces together with Jupiter in traditional astrology, and it represents deep, sensitive feelings, inspiration, compassion, spiritualism, dreams, unconditional love, and many more. But the shadow side of Neptune is confusion, sadness, loss, fraud, worry, idealization. This means that it might not be easy for you to understand the situation that you're in. On the one hand, it could mean an amazing inspiration, which works well if you're an artist or a writer. But the difficult part is confusion, excessive worry, and an underlying feeling that something is not right. And because of the slow movement of Neptune, this will end for you, March of 2024. It's not going to be challenging all the time, but you need to be extra cautious of idealization and wrong estimates. If you're not sure about something, maybe it's a good idea to get some advice for more experienced people or from your friends. I'll give you a few examples. That, for example, there is a wonderful idea about a new business which looks very promising. I'm not saying that things could go wrong, but you have to think well before you make any big moves in this period. Again, my suggestion is to ask your friends or people with more experience if you're planning anything major in your life. Another case would be that you meet a new person, but because with Neptune, you see the best in everything and everybody, you probably feel, or actually be sure that you met your soulmate. Not to say that's not possible, but you have to be really cautious so you can avoid disappointments lately. Maybe after a year you might say, really, how did I do that? But I guess sometimes, we have to go through the experience. And before you start blaming poor Neptune, I would like to remind you that although we are connected to the universe, astrology is symbolic. The planets reflect Earth's nature and events, but they don't create it. I don't think Neptune knows that Solana exists. So that's it for this time, guys. I hope you enjoyed this video and you found some interesting information. I'll be here in a few days again with Bitcoin's July predictions. Take care. Bye.